You know what happens? I come to the gym and then I get in the parking lot and I think of all these things that are racing through my mind. And then I usually kick out some videos and then I'm always like, oh, shoot, look at the time. Oh my gosh, I haven't even done my workout. So then I go in and get my workout done and I run home and Crystal's always like, geez, that was the longest workout. But really it's because I get on calls, I get a park, and then I look at my messages and I probably shouldn't, but I look at things and sometimes there's some pressing matters that I have to tend to. Well, this is a pressing matter because I haven't told you guys effectively how powerful ER Shred is for the business, okay? So I'm gonna share with you some reasons that it's unbelievably powerful for the business, and I want you guys to just hear me out, okay? So first and foremost, simplicity. Simplicity. There is nothing better than when you have a one product focus and you have a lead entry. There's nothing better, okay? So, and keep in mind, Jesse and I are gonna work together and we're gonna work together with some other cross-line leaders. We're gonna be putting out more and more business content moving forward. But, you know, that's all in the works. But, hi, good morning, Joni. So, a one product focus is essential for duplication. One of the worst things that happens in network marketing is everybody starts doing things all different ways. And that's what I've seen. I've seen it over the years. The reason that's detrimental is because now everybody has different ways of doing things and you don't have duplication. Do you understand? How can you have any duplication when everybody's doing things differently and everybody's threatened by each other and everybody's so opinionated? Now I'm afraid to feature this leader over here because they'll push their agenda, or feature this leader over here because they'll push their agendas. It's really common sense. And unfortunately, this could be misconstrued as that. But really what you don't realize is what Crystal and I have done is gone back to our roots. With ER Shred, we've gone back to our roots the way that Isagenics was originally started, which was a one product focus, a one concept focus, and all the results around that are what put Isagenics on the map and what made it successful to begin with. So don't get it twisted and think that we're convoluting things or we're making things more complicated, and because that's not what we're doing. We're simply going back to our roots. We've beefed up that original 11-day process. We've made it way more effective. We've made it way more doable, and we've made it empowering because it causes a full-blown lifestyle change. People gain control over their eating habits, and here's one of the coolest things that you don't know and you need to know. Okay, never before, in my opinion, was I able to, I would repeatedly say to people, hey, you should view the shakes as a legitimate food source. Now, I'm going to tell you how I know that the majority of my customers never did view the shakes as a legitimate food source. How do I know that? How could I say that? Easy. If you went into my personally enrolled, and Crystal and I have personally enrolled like 1,200 people, and then if you were to look at all of the inactive customers, you would go, geez. Now, fair enough, it's fair to say that that's the way business is. You lose a lot of customers. There is attrition. Fair enough to say that in network marketing as a whole, the attrition is probably like 90%. That's the reality. Like 90% of the people that come in, they fall back out. That's sad. That's really unfortunate. Now, if you're in Isagenics and you're really coaching we coached our people. We really invested in our people. We coached and we coached and we coached. We followed up like crazy. That's how we were trained. And so our retention is actually better than the majority of people in Isagenics, but our retention is probably still only maybe between 15 and 20% retention. So you're still faced with, 85, only 85% attrition, people falling out. That's the reality. Now, Crystal and I have been doing ER Shred for how long? Only about 5 weeks, okay? And you guys know our personal enrollments. You know that it's growing. You know that it's legitimate, and that the results are there. If you don't know that, go to bodyalive.com, go to our page, look at the results. They're unbelievable, and people form an emotional attachment to the products like never before in history. It's mind-boggling. Now, with that said, how are we getting them to view certain core isogenics products as legitimate food sources? Well, for one thing, we're actually teaching them what is not food. And a lot of what they're eating now that is causing tremendous amounts of inflammation is not real food. It's what, our world has told us is food. It's what the grocery store wants you to believe is food. It's what big business wants you to believe is food, but it's not food. It's not. But through the process of ER Shred, we actually, through the emotional experience, through the program, people learn what isn't serving them and what does serve them. And one of the things that they do learn that serves them is shakes. They learn that, okay, my body likes these are safe, these are culprit-free, and this is a tool that I can use to ensure that I'm getting all the right, nutrition, and that I'm not having deficiencies and so forth. They form an emotional attachment to the shakes. This isn't a trick. This is not some trick we're pulling on people. This is legitimate. People fall in love with the shakes. They fall in love with that bone broth. They fall in. Hi, Heather. Thanks for saying that. Your results rock. So good to have you back on board. And that's another thing that we've seen is from a business perspective, people are coming back. People like Heather are coming back and they're getting excited again. This is not some trick we're playing on people. This is legitimate. This is bona fide. This is real. People are seeing that, oh my gosh, they found a way to teach me how to effectively eat moving forward. They found a way to teach me elimination. People are saying to me, like I did this call yesterday for Janet Anderson. She might be in here in the group now, but Janet said, oh my gosh, I work with people on all these different mental health things. And she was in her office and she had all these diagrams and all this stuff all over the place. She goes, I cannot believe you guys found a way to do an elimination diet in such a safe, effective way that isn't costing people thousands of dollars, that isn't going to take them months and be overly complicated. She's like, this is ingenious. But a lot of you guys don't know what it is that we've done because you haven't given it a fair look or a fair shot. And you really will never understand it until you try it yourself. And then things will start clicking and you'll go, oh my gosh, I see how this was born of a personal health crisis. And I see what this can do, how this can be a tool. Thank you, Heather. She said, I'm 100%. I am back. Thank you for leading the way. Thank you, Heather. Crystal and I, it's so interesting because not only were we racking our brains trying to figure out how to help my personal health challenges, but we were also, for years, we've been racking our brains. How do we reactivate all the beautiful people? That's going to make me emotional. Gosh darn it. Because we love you guys. We love the people of Isogenics. Best people on earth. But it's important that y'all make money. It's important that y'all make money. And it's important that you see the products as legitimate and working for you. And if those things aren't there, we're going to lose you. And I hate losing people. The people become like family. And it's not about the money. It's about the relationship. And it just sucks when things outside of your control are compromising those types of relationships. And they can, because all of a sudden people aren't in the culture anymore. And they're not in the culture because they're not getting results with either the product or the business. These are two major problems that have to be addressed. Dang. I hate how we ignore this. I hate how we act like it's not happening. I hate how we pretend that we haven't lost people and, oh, that's their loss. Oh, well, they're going to come back. We're sure going to miss them. And I'm like, no. And so I hope you guys can see that this is also born not only of a personal health crisis. Yes, this protocol, these concepts all converged as a result of a legitimate health crisis that I suffered. But what this is going to do for the business is born of years and years of wondering, how do we get them back? How do we bring them back? How do we get them results again? How do we get them to succeed? Because without that, what do we really have? And here's the thing. This works. This works. And I'm not even a business thumper. I'm not that. You know that about me. I'm not someone that gets excited about talking about the business all the time and talking about comp plans and talking about the bonuses and talking about all the incentives. There's people like you out there that are like that. And that's what your gift is. That is not my gift. My gift is not talking about all of that. But we need each other. I need people that are good at talking about that kind of stuff. I need people that are good at organization and I need people. We all need each other is what I'm trying to say. And we know that. In my platinum spot, okay, now keep in mind, I didn't promote those seasonal shakes. And you're going to think I'm crazy that I didn't promote them for a very specific reason. In my platinum spot, I didn't want those shakes, me promoting the crap out of those shakes. I didn't want it to give a false marker, so to speak, false representation of what ER Shred is doing. So I didn't promote them, not even a little bit. Not because I'm opposed to them, not because I'm, for no other reason than I want the results of ER Shred to stand alone. Now, in our platinum spot, okay, our income all through all the first part of this year, all through the summer, the income was what it was. And in the 5 weeks that we have been doing ER Shred, that income doubled fast, more than doubled fast, and it has held strong for 5 consecutive weeks. More than double income. And we all know that there's a lot of factors coming into play in terms of, is network marketing screaming? Is it? Did Isagenix 2.0 cause your income to scream? Did it cause your income to expand dramatically? I don't believe it did. And a lot of that's the political climate. A lot of that's, if there's so many factors that come into play, like COVID. But the bottom line is, I believe that network marketing, what we do for a living, is we're going to have our day in the sun now. I believe that wholeheartedly. The last 3-4 years have been slow in network marketing. I'm one of the rare honest people in business that will tell the truth. The last 3-4 years, sales have gone down in network marketing. Have they not? If you tell me they haven't, you're full of crap. The last 3-4 years have been hard in network marketing. Isagenix sales have gone down the last 3-4 years. It's not because Isagenix isn't good or that they're idiots or that they're making all these mistakes. Really, there's a simple explanation for what happened. Trump got in 2016. And the economy got way too good, way too fast, and it was way too good for too long. Look at housing. Even with COVID and all the uncertainty and all the people out of work, housing has maintained incredibly strong. How? How is that even possible? Didn't mean to turn that music on. How? How has it held up? How has the income held up? I mean, the economy, the housing, how is everything? It doesn't make any sense. But none of that matters, but it does explain why network marketing hasn't done as well the last 3-4 years. Now, many of us, we still do incredibly well, but many of you that were only cycling, 5 to 10 times a week, if that, you've really felt it, haven't you? You've felt it the last 3-4 years. Now, it's going to pick up like crazy. Within the first quarter of 2021, network marketing is going to start screaming. Now, that's not speculation. You got to know that I've been in this industry for how long? 18 years. But you didn't know that I've actually been in this industry since I was 10 years old. That's the truth. My mom and dad started their first network marketing company when I was 10 years old. They were not distributors. They owned a network marketing company. It was never big time, but they worked their butts off and they gave it their darndest, and they had good products. With all of that said, in 1980, network marketing experienced a massive boom, an explosion. Why? Because of the housing crisis, the economy collapse, everything else. Every time there's a reset, okay, 2002, right after September 11th, 1992, I think it was, same thing. Every time there's an economic reset, network marketing explodes. It booms. 2002, what happened? It was right after September 11th and the economic crisis and the collapse. Boom, you had an explosion. 2008, housing crisis, economic reset. Boom, network marketing. 2010, 2011, 2012 explodes. Guys, this is historically documented. You need to know this about your own industry. We have been on tough times the last 3-4 years. If you have grown in the last 3-4 years, and there's a few of you that have, you have willed it to happen. You have literally willed it to happen, and I have mad respect for you because that's amazing what you were able to do. Most of us have just maintained, and a lot of us, our incomes have gone down a little bit. And some of us, our incomes have gone down a lot, and we all know it. Now, ER shred, why is it going to work for the business? Because when you're dealing with network marketing, you have to have something that people can't get anywhere else. Conceptually, this concept cannot be found anywhere else. I know it can't be found anywhere else because we figured it out, and we didn't figure it out by knocking anybody else off. We figured it out by converging the original concept of nutritional cleansing, the elimination concept, the incubation concept, and anything else that's there is just, a byproduct like fat adaptation and things of that nature. But if you could understand the results that are coming in, if you could just see the results and how fast they are and how measurable they are, how visual they are, how viral they go, now you'll start to see, oh my gosh, what do we have our hands on here? This is special. And this is the perfect timing, if ever there was good timing, to really latch onto something and really go to town with something. Now is it, because of the economic reset that we are experiencing. Whether you believe it or not, whether you're being told it or not, it is happening. And most likely Biden is going to put the country on lockdown. I won't talk political, but given how California has addressed things, given how, predominantly Democrat states have addressed things, this country is going to be put on a heavy lockdown in the very near future. And that might be a good thing, that might be a bad thing, I don't know. I'm not going to express an opinion on that. It's not for me to judge. But it is going to cause an economic reset. The problem is we haven't experienced it because the government just keeps on infusing more money. We have to pay for that. There's going to be a price to be paid for that. And if I was to say one thing that is political, it's that Trump was trying to buy time. He was trying to buy time because the election. He was trying to make it look like there was no economic collapse, but it's here, it's coming. That sounds scary to some of you, but for network marketing, believe it or not, that is music to our ears. Why? Because when things are going really well, nobody looks at network marketing. They don't. When everything's going well and people are comfortable and everything's going great, in fact, a lot of people won't even look at their health in those types of environments, and their health goes to crap, but they don't really care. They keep eating and drinking and being merry, and they don't care. But all of a sudden you have a reset, and people start to think seriously about their health, and they start to think more seriously about their finances, and they become more open-minded to the possibilities that, oh my gosh, I have got to diversify my income. I have got to have a backup plan. I cannot bank on this corporation taking care of me. I cannot bank on Social Security. I cannot bank on stipends. I cannot bank on someone bailing me out and these infusions of money from the government. Nope. People are going to have to start taking things very serious. Why do you think network marketing exists? Why do you think alternative ways of making passive income exist? Why do you think they appeal to people? Network marketing is not going anywhere but up. It's going to grow so much over the next few years. You guys, you've already found the right thing. And what I'm telling you is you can just watch what happens with this ER shred around the business. I know what's going to happen. Jesse and I did a call yesterday and we talked about the business of ER shred. I did another call with Shelly Johnson yesterday. We talked about the business of ER shred. The miracle of it is that the business of ER shred is the most simple thing you'll ever do in your life. There is nothing more simple. And what I found in network marketing is most often we're simple-minded people like, hey, Amy, how are you? She's another. Amy Jager-Smith's another one. Ashley Brooke Knibbe's another one that's just recently joining the business as a result of ER Shred. So thank you guys for catching the vision. It's going to be big time. It's going to be so big, huge. You'll see. And you'll be part of that and you'll benefit from that. And thank you for bringing your energy and throwing your log on the fire. Thank you. The ER Shred is simple. It's a one product focus and it gets results like crazy. And in my experience, people that want to do network marketing are actually very simple. I am such a simple person. I think sometimes people probably meet with me sometimes and I actually hope that they walk away from that and they're like, that is a very simple person. You know, am I overly impressed with him? Not really. He's very simple. That would be the impression I would hope to leave people with because I am a very simple person. I'm a simple-minded person. I'm very simple in terms of how I operate. I'm very simple in terms of how I think. I loved the network marketing business model because of the simplicity. Hey, Laura, I loved it because it was so simple. You use a product and you have a personal experience with it and it works for you. And based on that personal experience, you want to share that product with people because of what it did for you. That's simple. And the company rewards you for sharing that product with people, in the form of commissions. And that's all you do is the fun stuff. I hate the nitty-gritty of business. I hate business. I hate shipping and receiving. I hate everything to do with packaging, and I hate everything to do with R&D. And I mean, it's just not my thing. I'm being completely honest. I don't like accounting. I don't like the thought of having to manage employees. I don't like the thought of legal garbage, all the legal crap that businesses have to pay for with attorneys and insurances. I don't like having to have a lease on a building and having that hang over my head, all the overhead. There's just so much about it. I'm not afraid of it. I mean, if I wasn't doing network marketing, I'd go start my own business and I'd swing for the fences and then I'd swing again and swing again. I watched my parents do that my whole life. But do I like traditional business? There's so much about traditional business that is terrible. You have to risk so much. You have to give so much away. What I love about this business model is we get to do the fun stuff, which is helping people, sharing with people, impacting people's lives for the better. All the nitty-gritty of business, Isagenix takes that off our hands, which is beautiful. It's beautiful because then we don't have to do all that garbage. They do it for us. They get paid to do it for us. We bring the sales. They take a significant portion of the sales. Why? Because they do all the garbage for us. You don't forget that. They do all the garbage for us, which is so wonderful. And what do? We share and we care and we love on people. And that's it. So if you ever felt like, oh my gosh, these bonuses are complicated, these contests they're running are complicated, these pools they're running are complicated, guess what? They're complicated for yours truly, and I don't like it all. I don't like it all. I don't like all the complicated mumbo jumbo. I don't like all that garbage. What I like is the simplicity of, I found a product that actually worked for me. You can't find it anywhere else. I want to help people with that product based on the results that I gain myself. By helping people with that product, this company rewards me. And then I help people do the same thing what I did, share with their friends and family. That's it. If you can get with that simplicity, then you'll understand why we're going back to our roots with ER Shred. Then you'll understand, because how did the company ever get off the ground without all the bonuses, without all the big packs, without all the pools, without all the, complicated contests and all the, even the LIA formula is complicated, and the PET is all, everything's complicated. And guess what? It doesn't have to be. You can choose to do this business model without all the complication. I think we lose a lot of people in the business just because we show them what's available and they go, like, geez, too much stuff, too much information. I think we lose a lot of people that way. And I think this business is supposed to be run in a very simple fashion, and I'm excited about it. I am so excited to do this business with one product focus that gets results, teaching people that those shakes, that bone broth, these are solid staple food sources. Now, the feedback I'm getting from people like Amy, from people like, what's her name, Aubrey, people like Ashley, these people are basically telling me, people like Shelly, boom, solid food source. Boom, solid food source. I'm going to stay on this stuff. That's exciting. In fact, with the original 11-day protocol, we really didn't have that. We didn't. We only had these, the shakes weren't the beefed up shakes. They were just little shakes. And then we really didn't have maintenance. We didn't have it. But I wanted to talk to you about the business of these shakes. Now, people say, well, we don't want to be known as a shake company. Why not? Why wouldn't we want to be known as the best shake company on the face of the earth? What's so wrong with that? Why? Because my father, as an entrepreneur, he always taught me growing up that you want to be in the business of commodities. Hi, Ginny. How are you? You want to be in the business of commodities. You want to be in things that people use every day, like clothing or food or energy sources. I don't want to be in the business of hawking supplements all the time. I want to be in the business of food. And if I can show people how certain products can be a legitimate food source, that's the business I want to be in. And we found a way through ER Shred to demonstrate to people, not to trick them, no tricks here, to demonstrate to people that the Isalean Pro or what have you is a legitimate, bona fide, sustaining, staple part of your diet. It's a food source. And the feedback is there for me. People already saying, I'll stay on these shakes the rest of my life. I feel so good. And I'm not having the massive inflammation I was having on the other foods I was eating. So we've got the feedback we were looking for. It works. Now imagine if you only had one person, one customer. Let's say they're eating even just one Isalean Pro Shake per day. One Isalean Pro Shake per day. They're going to order 4 canisters of Isalean Pro Shake per day. Let's break it down. That's about 140 BV. Just one Isalean Pro Shake per day is 140 BV. If people really do get the kind of results that we're talking about on ER Shred, and please do call it ER Shred, because there's people out there calling it other things and it really discredits it, and it removes what it is. It's called ER Shred for a reason. It starts with elimination. It is a hard reset to the entire body. If we're not calling it what it is, then people are going to confuse the concept, and they might not see these shakes as a legitimate bona fide food source. So don't confuse the concept, please, because then you teach that down line and you're confusing everybody. Bottom line is, we want this to be treated as an elimination protocol. It's essential. And that's how we get people to see that, oh my gosh, not only is this a legitimate food source over here, it's the safest, most healthy, most beneficial food source I could put in my body, which it is, and I will continue to do that. I will do that. Okay, 140 BV a month. Go look at all the people that you ever enrolled in Isagenics. How would you like it if all those people were ordering individually 140 BV per month, just staying on one Isalean Pro Shake per day? Let that sink in. So I've got 1,200 personally enrolled, and unfortunately so many of those people went off the products, and I can see why they did, because it's treated as supplementation. It's not, we don't show people how to treat this as legitimate food, and you can't just tell them it's legitimate food. You have to demonstrate it to them based on their experience, which we finally figured out how to do. Okay. But if I could take those 1,200 people and have every one of those people ordering 100 BV a month, even 100 BV a month, but now you're talking 140 BV a month. And that doesn't even consider if they order bone broth. And that doesn't consider if they have other members of their family that are using the shakes. And that doesn't consider that a lot of those people could potentially start sharing with their friends and family, or gravitate towards other products within Isagenics, more BV. Are you catching the vision of this? What if people continued like I am on 2 Isalean Pro Shakes a day, or 3 Isalean Pro Shakes a day? Why in the world would we not want to be known as a shake company? I can't even fathom that. I think that's the stupidest thing I ever heard, is if someone says, we don't want to be known as a shake company. Why? Because you have more glorious... Why? Tell me why. You have a more luxury, glorious vision for what we are. What the hell? Don't we want people eating the products? Isn't it that simple? I want people eating the products. And if the results aren't there, they go off the products. Can we agree on that? If the results aren't there, if they don't continue to see results on an ongoing basis, they'll go off the products. Why do they go off the products? Because they only have a certain amount of expendable income. The word there is expendable. How do we get people to see Isagenics as not dipping into expendable income? We have to teach them that Isagenics, certain products, not all. If you tell me that all the products are food, I'll laugh at you, and I'll in the back of my mind, I'll think that person's a schemer, because they're not all food. It's not true. They're not all food. There's a lot of supplements. They're not all food, guys. You can't live on them. If you can live on them, they're food. You can live on Isalean Pro. You could live on bone broth. If you can't live on them, they're not food. And I'm in the business of commodities, and I want people eating the food every day, and I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm doing something actually very beneficial for people by getting them to see, wow, perfectly balanced food takes the guesswork out of eating, takes the guesswork out of all the calculations I have to do in terms of protein, fat, carbs, macros, calories, blah, blah, blah. And I feel good, and there's no culprits. And it's born of an emotional experience on the ER shred. You'll have to do it to see it. You're going to have to do it to see it. But once you do it, you're going to see it. And then it's going to click for you. The business part of it's going to click for you. The business model is just so darn simple. I hope you guys can appreciate that. It's just so dang simple. And I want to tell you, I made $1 million in Isagenics the old-fashioned way, focusing on results, focusing on people, sharing those results with other people, focusing on a one-product focus. That's the absolute truth. That's how my parents made their first million. That's how so many of the initial millionaires made their money. That's how the company got off the ground. So we can't forget where we came from. I know that this grandeur vision of what we're going to be, fine, but don't forget where we came from. If you forget where we came from, then you're not learning from the past. You're not learning, and you're not taking that moving forward into the future. And shame on us if we do that. Okay? So all positive things moving forward, and forgive me if I seem overly critical of how some things are done. It's just that I did become disenamored with my own company. I did. That's the truth that I couldn't tell you for so long. I was disenchanted. I was I lost my gusto. I lost my moxie for Isagenics because it became too complicated. Too many products, too many components to the pay structure, too much of a business focus, not enough of a focus on helping people legitimately with the results, too much of a money game. This is me being honest. And now Crystal and I, we just manifest this way to bring this sucker around and to do it the right way and to do. This is what I want you to understand. The reason people are going to come back to Isagenics is because it's the same reason they're telling us they're coming back. They're like, whoa, you guys recaptured the magic of what originally attracted me to Isagenics. It's not my magic. It was just magic. But they're like, you guys found a way to get hold of that magic that was there. And it's one of those things, guys, like, think of a marriage. In the beginning, it's magical. And then over time, things get complicated and you have kids and you have lost jobs and you have health challenges and all of a sudden things get convoluted and complicated and you're stressed and that magic can be lost. And sometimes it takes something special. You gotta rediscover that magic. That magic is there, but you have to rediscover it. And that's what this is all about, is rediscovering the magic. And it's there. We're going to help a lot of people. And is it wrong for people in this company to make money? No, it is not wrong. There are beautiful people, even on this Zoom, beautiful people who I love dearly, who deserve the opportunity to make money. Nothing wrong with that. And they're doing it by providing a meaningful service and helping people and giving people a gift. What could be wrong with that? There is nothing wrong with that. That's what this industry is all about. Whew, okay, more things forthcoming. Lots of good things coming. Just wanted to kind of share with you bird's eye perspective of what we have here. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.